a lot these days. So I mean, in our general life, right? So Amjad, I hope you can hear me now.
Yes, properly.
Okay, that's good. Okay, let's start. So in this, well, today we are starting our reading module, and in reading module, I will try to prepare or focus on two things in parallel.
Yes, sir.
One thing is improving your apprehension, reading apprehension. And second thing is
Yes, sir.
that even with poor reading apprehension, how can you use different tips or shortcuts to find out the correct answer? So there are two things.
Yes, sir.
One is related to improving your reading apprehension, and second is that means genuinely improving your reading. Okay, and second
Yes, sir.
aspect that I will be covering is how you can use different shortcuts or techniques or test techniques, you can say, to get to the right answer, even
Yes, sir.
if you don't understand different things, right? So
Right, sir.
right away, I'll start with an example, and then I'll come back. Uh, this example will give you a clear idea of what I'm saying right now. Okay, so I'm sorry. Today I'm starting with a very different, sequence. So let me first give you that example, and then I'll come back.
Yes, sir.
Amjad, whenever you have any question, you can just unmute yourself and you can ask me the question, right? You can interrupt me then and there, as you had been, interrupting me during our MSPM classes, right?
Okay.
Okay, so please don't hesitate. Okay, here is a question. Question number 3. Can you read this question? Shakil, can you read it for us?
Yes, sir. Following passage.
No, just question number 3 in the bottom. Can you read it? Okay, let
Question
me.
number 3, sir.
Yeah, here, it's here. Can you see this? This one? Which slide is appearing on your screen? I guess, can you see the slide number there?
31.
Oh my God, I'm at 42. Okay, your internet connection is slower. Right, so let's wait. Let's
Yes,
wait
sir.
for 42 to come. Right. Please let me know if slides are
Right, sir.
changing or not.
Changing, sir.
Okay,
Changing.
fine. Right. I have encircled slide number 42 and question number 3 in red ink. You can just tell me whenever you reach slide number 42. Slide numbers are mentioned on
Right,
the
sir.
left top corner in orange with orange background, right?
Yes, sir. 37, sir.
Okay, 5 to go. Actually,
Yes, sir.
I clicked too fast without realizing that I'm online, right? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Don't tell me your net is too slow. I'm just slide number. Which slide number you can see?
No, sir.
Now I am
42.
at 43.
43, sir.
How
43,
come?
42. Now 42.
42. Okay, okay. You jumped
No,
ahead.
42.
You are seeing what I have not shown yet. Okay. So now, please
No,
read. Okay. Just kidding. Read question number 3, please, Shakil.
Sir, yes. What two common materials did ancient humans use to obtain their ochre, sir?
Ochre, right? Okay. Now,
Ochre, sir.
you don't know what is ochre, right?
No,
But
sir.
obviously, no one knows, right? Once we'll reach this specific exercise, obviously, I'll explain you what is ochre. But for the time being, you don't know what is ochre, number 1.
Yes, sir.
You have been asked that what two common materials people in the ancient history used to store or contain. Okay, let me. Sorry. I'm really sorry. Let me move to the next slide. Right. I'm really sorry. Just ignore this because I wanted to show you a different point. Okay. I'm really sorry. Right, I
It's okay,
wanted
sir.
you guys to focus on this question number 4 actually. This one.
Okay, sir.
What did ancient people use to keep their ochre mixture in? Means which
Yes, sir.
container or material those people in the old times they used to use for storing this mixture, ochre mixture. Now you
Yes, sir.
don't know the ochre mixture, right? What it is.
Yes,
But
sir.
I want you guys to read 1 or 2 sentences in a paragraph that I'm going to show you in the coming slide. Now
Okay,
I
sir.
want you guys to please read one line here. Uh, Wait, sorry, let me pack my tools. Okay, now this one. Here, some person, he was an archaeologist. What is an archaeologist? Do you know that? Asare
Yes, sir.
Kadima, right?
Sara ke din. Yes.
People who dig out, ancient places to get some old things, okay, or to discover some old things or ancient history things, right? So
Yes, sir.
there was an archaeologist. His name was Christopher, and blah blah. He started digging out some place in 1992, okay, and he
Yes, sir.
reported discovery of a mixture. This mixture is actually ochre mixture. Right now, I'm not asking you to read the whole paragraph. Right now, I just want you guys to focus on this. This mixture was rich in ochre. It was stored in what? 2 abalone shells.
Yes, sir.
So now, do you know what are abalone shells?
No, sir.
No, you don't know. But you know this is right answer, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. What did ancient people use to keep their ochre mixture in? So these are abalone shells,
Yes, sir.
right? So this is what I was telling you, that one way of finding the right answer is actually understanding the meaning of different words, actually improving your vocabulary, actually improving your reading skills. But
Yes,
an
sir.
other way is, to optimize your current proficiency of reading to get maximum score through using these tips. That you don't know
Yes, sir.
anything, you don't know what is ochre, you don't know what are abalone shells, but you have scored 1 mark in for this question.
Yes, sir.
Got it? So I will focus
Yes.
on 2 things in parallel. One thing will be improving your reading apprehension, and second thing will be introducing these kind of shortcuts.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's start our lecture formally, and let's move back to our first slide.
Yes, sir. Sir, may
Okay.
I ask one question?
Yeah, sure, sure.
Sir, what is difference between computer-based IELTS and paper-based, sir?
Actually, paper you can't avail paper-based right now. Okay.
Yes, sir.
These are
Okay, sir.
for only like in countries where computer is still not there. I guess in some parts of Afghanistan maybe, or maybe in
Yes, sir.
some African countries where
Yes, sir.
computer is still not being used in everyday life, right? But in Pakistan, all the
Yes.
centers they conduct computer-based tests only.
Sir, which
I,
one is better?
Obviously, computer-based is better. Sorry. This handwriting. Sorry,
Handwriting.
yeah, handwritten. For us, it's handwritten. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Actually, there is another test which is going in my mind. Okay, and
Yes, sir.
the test is still not introduced in Pakistan yet.
Yes, sir.
That is computer-based, right? It's paper-based.
Yes, sir.
Throughout, it's paper-based, and for some people, uh, special who have some special needs, only they
Yes,
can
sir.
avail these computer-based tests.
Computer-based
Okay,
test.
yeah.
Thanks, sir.
Obviously, you have no option. Right now, you have no option. You have to appear
Yes,
in
sir.
the paper-based. Sorry,
Handwritten. Yes,
handwritten.
Yeah,
Right.
paper-based.
sorry,
Yes.
one
Just,
question.
just shoot.
What's the difference between this IELTS from IDB And the general one we are taking through British Council.
Okay, there are too many people. They are confused about it, and some people they recommend that or they suggest that IDP is easier than British Council test. But my personal experience, as well as of experience of many others who have some knowledge of
Yes,
IELTS,
sir.
they grade them both of them equally actually.
Yes, sir.
Okay, um,
Okay, sir.
I don't think there is any difference. And
Yes,
actually, I
sir.
have not found any difference. I have appeared in both the tests
Yes, sir.
for my immigration requirement. First, my
Yes, sir.
first test date expired, and then I had to appear in the second one. So one time I appeared in British Council test, and second time I appeared in the IDP test. But
Yes, sir.
difficulty level is equal.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so we have Abdurrahman with us, I guess. Assalamu alaikum, Abdurrahman. Okay, so just join us and please continue with us. We have just started. Okay, now in this, first let's have a comparison, a look on the comparison between these two type of tests, IELTS academic and IELTS general training reading test. As I've told you, broadly speaking, the main difference
Yes, sir.
is that of difficulty level. IELTS general training reading test is very easy as compared to academic test,
Academic, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
So you have to prepare a lot to get good score in academic. Remember this thing.
Yes, sir.
Many people they feel difficulty in reading. Okay, so now what's the
Yes.
main difference? The main difference, apart from the difficulty level, is in its pattern or its in its format. In journal
Yes,
training,
sir.
there are three sections, 1, 2, and 3. Please keep looking at
Yes.
these red dots that I'm making here. In first section,
Yes, sir.
there are further two subsections. You get 7 questions from one passage
Okay,
and
sir.
6 or 7 questions from other passage. Okay,
Yes,
let me
sir.
explain it again.
Okay, sir.
In section 1, there are two subsections. First subsection contains a
Yes, sir.
passage or paragraph from which you will get 7 or 6 questions. Similarly,
Yes, sir.
from second passage or paragraph, you will again get 7 or 6 questions. So
Yes,
in
sir.
total, section 1 goes to 13 to 14 questions.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Similarly, in section 2, you have got two subsection again,
Yes, sir.
and again 7 to 6 question here and 7 to 6 question here.
Yes, sir.
And section 3 is a single longer section. You will get a longer text in that, and you will get all 13 to 14 questions from these.
Yes, sir.
So in total, if you see, there are 3 sections, and there are 13 questions in these two of these sections, 13 plus 13,
Yes, sir.
and then plus 14, right? So
Okay,
this
sir.
14, that makes total 40, 40. And out of
Yes, sir.
these, any one of the sections, section 1, section 2, or section 3, any one of them may contain 14 questions. And other two will
Yes,
have
sir.
13 questions in that. Now come to academic test. And Amjad, please don't worry. I'll talk about this later once we'll reach journal training part. And I'll conduct a separate class for you to explain this stuff. Okay. Now, let's
No
come
problem.
back to the academic part. In academic, there are 3 sections in total, again, just like general training.
Yes, sir.
However, in all these 3 sections, you get one longer text,
Yes, sir.
okay?
Okay,
And
sir.
you get 13, 13, and 14, or 14, 13, and 13, or 13, 14, 13, set of questions
Yes.
from each of these sections. But here, difficulty level keep increasing.
Yes, sir.
First text is shorter and simpler. Second text or second, passage for the second section is again a little bit harder and longer. And
Yes, sir.
section 3 is, as you can say, is the toughest and the longest section.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now,
Okay, sir.
if according to my assessment, you can rate section 3 of general training equal to section 1 of academic test.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just
Okay,
to
sir.
have a comparison about the difficulty level of these two tests, you can equate section difficulty level of section 3 of general training test with that of section 1 of academic test. Okay, sorry, got it? Abdurrahman, did
Okay.
you ask something?
No, sir. It's okay.
No, okay. Now, what is the purpose of a reading test? What they assess, in reading test. Here, you are assessed to read for the general sense or overall purpose of the passage. Okay, for this, to explain you this point and many other points, I generally use one example, and that example is my introduction, right? Please listen to this example right now in detail, and because I will be using this example so many times during our reading session. I'm getting some noise, background noise from, maybe it's from Shakib or Abdurrahman. I'm muting you guys. If you have any queries, you can unmute and please ask your question. Right. So now, well, let me introduce myself. I was serving in Pakistan Navy as an engineer, and up till 2007, everything was going too good. And actually, based on my performance, I was nominated for a course in Turkey, and it was a very good course. And I had to bring some, you can say, new weapons from there, and I was selected for that. But once I went for the medical test before going to Turkey, I was diagnosed with hepatitis C. And from 2007 till 2014, uh, you know uh, I was hospitalized so many times, and I remained in hospital for so many times, for sometimes even up to 6 months duration in one go. So ultimately, unfortunately, I had to quit Navy, and my brothers who are settled in the US, they requested me to come to United States, where I can get my treatment, and I can start a new career. For that purpose, they booked an IELTS test for me, and I went for that test without any preparation, without knowing the test format, and without knowing the difference between IELTS academic and IELTS general training. Uh, I appeared in that test, and once results were declared, I got 8 band in that. I got 9 in reading, and my overall band was 8. So when I told it to my friends, they were amazed, and they requested me to guide them how I prepared, and I told them I didn't prepare at all. And then I started interacting with people who were going to appear in the ICE test on Facebook. I kept guiding them, and finally I formulated a course consulting various books and various websites, that course you are using now. So this is how I started my profession. This You can say I started teaching or training IELTS. Now, this is my background, right? Now, I want to ask you one question here. What was the purpose of what I told you? Did I want to tell you about my excellent performance in Navy? Or did I tell you this thing, all stuff, to tell you that how much I suffered in the hospitals, or how much I suffered because of my health? Or my purpose was to tell you that how I started teaching IELTS. What do you think?
None of them, I guess.
Huh?
None of them, I guess.
Okay. And what about you, Abdurrahman? Abdurrahman, are you there? You need to
I
unmute
think
yourself. Okay. Abdurrahman, can you answer me?
Yeah, yes, sir. About IELTS and how you.
About, okay, how I started teaching IELTS. That was my
Yes.
purpose. Okay. I told you details of everything. I also mentioned, I mentioned in my talk about why, how I was performing in my previous job. I also mentioned about my illness and, my prolonged hospitalization. But I also talked about the IELTS thing, right? But here, my purpose, overall purpose. Now, can you see this word here? Overall purpose of the passage.
Yes, sir.
So this is what we mean by overall purpose. Okay.
Okay.
Similarly, if I ask you, okay, in which year I was first diagnosed hepatitis C? So here I'm asking to find out some specific information, an exact year or date.
Okay.
Similarly, distinguish main ideas from the sporting details. Now, I mentioned three main ideas. I talked about three main ideas: my performance in Navy, my hospitalization, and quitting previous job and starting a new one. But there were some details mentioned within each of these main ideas. Similarly, extract information to complete a diagram. In this case, there's a summary table, or, it's not there. I'll talk about this thing later. But these, the main purpose of our reading test is to assess you, or to check your skills of how good you understand the overall purpose of the passage, opinions and attitudes of the writers, and people mentioned in those passages. Sometimes we read in our passages that according to an expert, so and so thing. Now here they can ask you, okay, what is the opinion of that expert? Okay, so this reading test is also used to assess how good you understand different opinions and attitudes. Similarly, how you can locate specific information and so on. Is that clear? Shall I move on?
Yes.
Okay, I assume. Right. Now, what kind or types of questions do you face in reading test? Broadly speaking, there are two types. Okay. Broadly speaking, please try to understand this point now again. Broadly speaking, there are two types. The first type, in first type, you are asked to pick a word, one word or two words, or a number, or a word or number, a combination of word or number from the passage. Okay? In this kind of, in these kind of questions, you need to pick some specific word from the passage to answer the question. For example, if I say sentence completion, can you see this sentence completion question? We normally in our region, we normally call them as fill in the blanks questions. Okay, there's a sentence written, and in that sentence you will find a blank, and you have to fill in that blank. So to fill this blank, you have to pick a word, one word, two words, three words, or a number, or sometimes a combination of word and number from the passage. In these kind of questions, you have to pick exact word from the passage. Remember this thing. You have to pick exact word from the passage. If, let's say, the right answer is questions, and if you write question, and you omit or you forget to write s with it, your answer will be marked wrong.
Oh,
Clear? So in this reading test, please make sure that you have to copy exact spelling, exact words here to answer the question. Okay? So first type of reading question is a type of questions in which you have to pick exact words from the passage. Now, there is another type of questions that you will face in reading test. In second type, you are already given some options, okay, and you have to choose those options. Instead of choosing a word from the passage, you have to choose an given option to answer a question. So you feel the difference now? Did you understand, or shall I explain it more?
sir.
Clear.
Clear. Abdurrahman, clear?
I'm noticing some interruption of your voice. Let me reconnect, please.
Okay, sure. I'm waiting, right?
Hello, sir.
Hello, welcome back. Okay, Abhi हमने
Hello.
hello. Shakil, can you hear me now? There's some problem with everyone's connection today somehow. Okay.
Not mine.
Yeah, you are stable. Actually, you are stable, right? Abdurrahman, welcome back.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
So now let me sum up again. There are two type of questions. In one type, you have to copy exact word from the passage, and in second type of questions, you have to choose an answer from the given options. For example, let me ask you, if I give you four questions, which are, in which I ask you about true, false, and not given. This is a very common question. True, false, and not given questions, right? So in
Yes, sir.
this, you don't have to pick exact word from the passage and write here. Instead, you have to choose one option from true, false, or not given.
Okay.
So there are two type of questions. In one type of questions, you have to choose the exact word from the passage. And in other type of questions, you are given some options and you have to pick one of the options to answer the question.
Okay.
Okay. So on slide number 6, I have shown you the first type of questions in which you need to write words and or numbers from the passage.
Yes, sir.
And these type of questions are sentence completion questions. Generally speaking, in our region, we call it as fill in the blanks questions.
Yes, sir.
Similarly, summary completion, note completion, table completion, and flowchart completion. All of these are again fill in the blanks type questions, but we categorize them differently in IELTS environment. These are known as summary, note, table, or flowchart completion. We will study all these type of questions one by one in
Yes.
coming lectures. So don't worry if you don't understand what is a summary completion, what is a note completion, right? Just don't worry. But essentially speaking, or you can say, basically, they are again fill in the blanks type questions.
Yes, sir.
Similarly, sometimes you are asked some short questions. Like I gave you one example about about myself. In that, if I ask you in which year I left Navy. So now this is a short question, right? Short answer question.
Yes, sir.
But you have to pick exact word from my talk, 2014 or something. So
Yes,
though
sir.
it is not fill in the blank type question or sentence type completion question, but still you have to pick exact word from the passage. Similarly,
Yes, sir.
diagram labeling. Here again, you know, this they show you some diagram. Let's say this is a diagram, beautiful diagram I've made, and here
Yes,
you
sir.
have to label it. This is question number 1, and they will ask you, okay, what is it? Now, who knows what it is? What it is? It is
Yes, sir.
nothing, right? It is just an abstract art. Okay, so these all type of questions that I have shown you here. In these type of questions, you have to pick some words or numbers from the passage.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
let's talk about the next type, in which you are given some option, okay, and you have to pick one option from the given options, you know, to find the answer. For example, multiple choice questions. We have been, you know,
Yes,
attempting these type of questions in our regular academic, you know, studies as well. So in multiple choice questions, you are given 3 or 4 choices, and you are asked to pick one right choice of the given answers. So now you are not
yes,
picking any word from the passage. You will just read the passage, understand what is written there, then you will relate understanding of your passage with the given options and choose which option is
yes,
correct.
sir.
Clear?
Yes, sir.
But you are not exact,
Yes.
you know, picking the exact words from the passage. Similarly, matching information. Now, if I write 4 sentences, let's say, okay, 1, sentence 2, sentence 3, and sentence 4, and I ask you, okay, in which paragraph A, B, or C, or D, or whatever, in which paragraph this information is given, number 1. So you are just matching one with C, or let's say B or something. Here you are not again picking some word from the passage, okay? So right now
Yes,
I'm
sir.
just giving you a broader idea. I know sometimes it becomes, you know, confusing for students, especially for those who have not seen any of the, you know, reading test before this, right? Right now Shakil can understand it. Shakil has
Yes, sir.
already, you know, practiced it a lot,
Yes, sir.
so he knows it. But I'm not sure about Amjad, and I'm not sure about Abdurrahman if you have seen any of the test or not. But just don't worry. I will talk about all of these questions one by one in next 6 days. Okay. So we have a plenty of time for reading lessons, actually 6 to 8 days,
Yes, sir.
right? So don't worry about that. Similarly, matching features, matching headings, and then summary completion. Now, if you see summary completion, you can see summary completion here. And you
Yes, sir.
also saw summary completion in the previous slide, if you see here,
Yes.
summary. Actually, summary completion, there are 2 types of summary completion. In one type of summary completion, they ask you to pick an answer from the passage. And in other type of summary completion, they give you some choices.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Similarly, there's another type of question in which they ask you true, false, or not given. So, broadly speaking, can you tell me, Abdurrahman, what kind or what 2 types of questions are there?
Okay. One is we can say it's optional questions that you are required
Given some
to answer
choices.
according.
Hmm.
Mhm. And the other one is extracting specific information from the passage
Very
or
right.
numbers or
Very right.
idea or something.
Right. So now let's start. Let's move on to next slide now.